Have you ever been pushed so far that you finally stopped caring what people thought? Have you ever been treated so badly that something inside you just snapped, not in anger, but in clarity? I have. And the person who pushed me there wasn't a stranger. He was my husband, the man I'd loved for 8 years, the man I'd built a life with. His name was Marcus, and he thought I was too weak, too scared, too dependent to ever fight back. He was wrong. Let me tell you how a quiet, submissive wife became the woman who brought his entire world crashing down. My name is Jasmine Parker. I'm 34 years old, and until 6 months ago, I was living a lie. From the outside, my marriage looked perfect. Nice house, successful husband, comfortable life. But behind closed doors, it was a nightmare. Marcus was controlling. Everything I did had to be approved by him, where I went, who I talked to, what I wore, how I spent money. At first, I thought it was love. He just cares about me, I told myself. He's just protective. But it wasn't love, it was control. He belittled me constantly, told me I was lucky he married me, that no one else would want someone as plain and boring as me. He controlled all our finances. I had no access to our bank accounts. He gave me a small weekly allowance like I was a child. He isolated me from my friends and family, told me they were bad influences, that they didn't understand our relationship. And I let it happen. For 8 years, I let it happen. Because I was scared. Scared of being alone, scared of starting over, scared of what he might do if I left. But everything changed 3 months ago. I found out he was cheating. It was a Saturday morning. Marcus had left his phone on the kitchen counter while he was in the shower. It buzzed, a text message. I glanced at it without thinking. Last night was amazing. When can I see you again? Kiss Mark. My heart stopped. I picked up the phone. No password. He'd always been arrogant enough to think I'd never dare look. I opened the message thread. Hundreds of texts, weeks of conversations, with a woman named Tiffany. Your wife has no idea, does she? She's clueless, too busy playing housewife to notice anything. Poor thing, you should just leave her. Why? She cooks, cleans, and doesn't ask questions. It's the perfect setup. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. All those years, all that control, all that manipulation. And he was cheating on me, laughing about me, using me. I heard the shower turn off. Marcus would be out any second. I quickly took photos of the messages with my own phone, put his phone back exactly where it was, and walked out of the kitchen. My hands were shaking. My mind was racing. But something inside me had shifted. I wasn't sad. I wasn't heartbroken. I was done. I didn't confront Marcus that day, or the next day, or the day after that. I played the perfect wife, cooked his meals, smiled when he walked in, pretended everything was normal. But behind the scenes, I was planning. First, I opened my own bank account. I'd been working part-time at a local bookstore, one of the few things Marcus allowed because it kept me busy. The money went into a joint account he controlled. I asked my boss to start paying me in cash, told her it was for tax reasons. She didn't ask questions. I started hiding that cash, small amounts, $20 here, $50 there, in places Marcus would never look. Second, I contacted a divorce lawyer, not to file yet, just to understand my rights, what I was entitled to, how to protect myself. The lawyer told me something crucial. In our state, infidelity could affect the division of assets. If I had proof, I could walk away with more than half. I had proof, photos of those text messages, saved in 3 different places. Third, I reached out to my old friends, the ones Marcus had convinced me to cut off. They welcomed me back with open arms, no judgment, just support. They reminded me who I used to be, strong, independent, confident. I'd forgotten that version of myself, but she was still there, just buried under years of manipulation. Fourth, I documented everything. Every time Marcus belittled me, every time he controlled my movements, every financial transaction. I was building a case, not just for divorce, but for my freedom. And Marcus, he had no idea. He still thought I was the same scared, submissive woman he'd been controlling for 8 years. He was about to learn otherwise. 6 weeks after I found those messages, I made my move. It was a Friday evening. Marcus came home from work, expecting dinner on the table like always. Instead, he found me sitting in the living room. No food, no smile, just me, and a folder on the coffee table. "What's this?" he asked, annoyed. "Open it." He picked up the folder, opened it, and his face went white. Inside were printed copies of his text messages with Tiffany, bank statements showing money he'd been funneling to her, photos I'd found on his laptop of their trips together. Everything. "Jasmine, don't." My voice was calm, steady. "Don't try to explain, don't try to lie, I know everything." He stared at me, speechless. "Here's what's going to happen," I continued. "I'm filing for divorce. I have a lawyer. I have evidence of your infidelity. And because of that, I'm entitled to more than half of everything we own." "You can't." "I already have. The papers are being filed Monday morning." He stood up, his face turning red. "You think you can just leave me? You think you can survive without me?" I stood up too, looking him directly in the eyes. "I've already survived 8 years with you. Life without you will be easy." He tried to intimidate me, stepped closer, raised his voice. But I didn't flinch. I didn't back down. For the first time in our entire marriage, I saw fear in his eyes. "Get out of my house," I said quietly. "This is MY house." "Not for long. My lawyer will be in touch." He grabbed his keys and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. And I sat down and cried, not from sadness, from relief. I'd finally done it. I'd finally stood up to him. The next few weeks were chaos. Marcus tried everything to manipulate me. He called, texted, showed up at my work. He apologized, begged, promised to change. When that didn't work, he got angry, threatened me, told me I'd regret leaving him. But I didn't break. I didn't respond. I let my lawyer handle everything. The divorce proceedings moved quickly. The evidence of his infidelity was damning. His lawyer advised him to settle. I got the house, half his retirement fund, and a significant alimony payment. But more than that, I got my freedom. Marcus tried to paint himself as the victim, told mutual friends I'd blindsided him, that I was heartless. But those same friends reached out to me, and when I showed them the evidence, the texts, the manipulation, the control, they turned on him. His reputation, destroyed. His relationship with Tiffany, it didn't last. Turns out she wasn't interested in a broke, disgraced man. And me. I thrived. 6 months after I left Marcus, I'm a completely different person. I moved into a smaller apartment. It's mine, every piece of furniture, every decoration, every choice. I quit the bookstore and went back to school. Started studying graphic design, something I'd always wanted to do but Marcus said was impractical. I reconnected with my family, my friends, the people who actually loved me. I started therapy, worked through years of emotional abuse, learned to set boundaries, learned to value myself. I even started dating again, nothing serious yet, but it's nice to be treated with respect, to be seen, to be valued. Marcus tried to contact me a few months ago, a long email about how sorry he was, how he'd made mistakes, how he wanted another chance. I deleted it without reading past the first line. I don't hate him anymore. I don't feel anything for him. He's just a chapter in my life that's closed. And I'm writing a new one. If you're watching this and you're in a controlling relationship, hear me when I say this. You are not trapped. You are not weak. You are not alone. I know it feels impossible to leave. I know you're scared. I know you think you can't survive without them. But you can. I did. And if I can do it after 8 years of manipulation, so can you. Here's what I learned. Leaving isn't the hardest part. Staying is. Every day you stay with someone who controls you, belittles you, and disrespects you is another day stolen from your life. You deserve better. You deserve to be free. You deserve to be happy. And the best revenge, it's not destroying them. It's building a life so good they become irrelevant. Marcus thought I'd never fight back. He thought I was too scared, too weak, too dependent. He was wrong. And karma didn't just hit him hard. It destroyed everything he thought he had control over. His marriage, his reputation, his comfortable life. All gone. Because he underestimated the quiet woman he thought he'd broken. But I wasn't broken. I was just waiting for the right moment to walk away. And when I did, I didn't just leave him. I left him with nothing while I walked into everything. That's the power of knowing your worth. That's the power of fighting back. And that's the power you have too. Don't let anyone dim your light. Don't let anyone control your story. Take it back and live the life you deserve.